I help build one of the world's most accurate business valuation tools. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to use it for free, how to get a business valuation in under 30 seconds, and exactly how your business should be valued after valuing more than $500 million worth of online businesses. So let's dig right in. So like I said, this is the world's most accurate business valuation tool. It has 90% accuracy based on sold data, meaning what the valuation came up with and what the business sold with was within 90%, meaning it is very accurate and it works. The second thing is it's been used on a mass scale for more than $500 million worth of sold deals. And it makes it one of the most accurate valuation tools and the business valuation calculators in the world. And let me dig into how this all works. So the biggest thing out there is valuation and multiples. How does it actually work? And it's actually a fairly simple formula. There's just a lot of nuances that go into the back end. But the simple formula is basically this. You have the valuation formula, which is your average net profit. A big term that everyone likes to use is TTM, which is your trailing 12 months. TTM basically takes the average net profit that you made over the past 12 months to get the most important number in the equation. Once you have that, it's going to make your accuracy and your valuation a lot more accurate. The next thing, which is let's just call the wild card scenario here, is the monthly or yearly multiple. This is going to be the number that shows you how much that TTM number is multiplied times to get your valuation price. And so it's best to give a few examples of things that actually increase that monthly or yearly multiple to get you a higher list price or higher valuation of your business. So what actually increases the multiple? A few things that I like to share here is age. If you have a 10-year-old business that's been around, it's proven, it's in an evergreen industry, and every year it's growing a little bit, that's going to get you a higher multiple. If you have multiple channels that you're getting, let's say one business only gets money from Facebook ads. If their Facebook ads stop working, they would go to zero. But what if there's a business that has Facebook ads, Google ads, conferences, email marketing, referrals, SEO traffic, and 10 other things that bring in a huge portion of their overall profit? That business is going to have a higher multiple. Then when you talk about software businesses that have monthly recurring customers, meaning they're not starting from zero, that type of business is also going to have a much higher valuation and multiple. So these are some of the things that actually go into it. But typically what I like to say is the higher the multiple, the lower the risk, or the higher the multiple, the bigger the moat around the business. It's not always the case, but in most cases, this is the truth. And so you're probably wondering, what is the typical multiple range? This is the range for businesses valued under $10 million. So typically a business is going to be valued at 36x or 60x monthly or 3 to 5 times yearly. So you're probably wondering, what does that actually look like? Let me give you a very simple example of a business making $10,000 per month in TTM, that trailing 12 months of average net profit, meaning all the revenue, all the expenses are taken out. This is the take-home profit. So that business on general is going to be priced between 30 to 60x, but for a software business that has MRR, it's been around for a few years in an evergreen niche, a US-based customer, that's probably going to be on the higher end. So we're going to see that business valued at around $300,000 on the low end to $600,000 on the high end. So hopefully this example gives you a really good hopefully this example gives you a really good preview of what your valuation can be. And so if you want to actually go along and get a free valuation right now, all you got to do is scan this QR code or just click the link below in the description to actually access the tool that I'm going to be sharing right now. So this tool is free and you get your valuation within 30 seconds and it's extremely accurate. So scan the QR code or take a screenshot and then you can hard press it on your phone to open it. So here's the tool. So let me just switch over my screen here to actually open it up. And so basically what you're going to see here on this first screen is you're going to see a few options. What type of business you have. This is going to be a big decisiveness factor because this valuation tool is going off of prior sold data. So for example, if on average software businesses are selling for 45 to 50x and you select a software business, you're going to get a higher multiple because there is real world data examples of these businesses selling for that much. For example, Amazon Associates businesses and websites, because of Google and the instability and a lot of updates with them changing their commission rates, they're going to go for a lot lower. So what type of business model you have, you can't really change it overnight. So you need to select the most accurate business valuation. So you've got a lot of options here. I'm just going to go with SaaS because that's kind of my space. And here's you're gonna enter is please enter the date you received your first subscriber. And that means your first paying customer, essentially. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, let's just say 2019, put in the date, hit next. So then you're going to put in the MRR, which is the monthly recurring revenue. Typically in Stripe, PayPal, or any dashboard that you're using for a software business can essentially calculate this. And there's usually some sort of variation or calculation that takes the annual recurring revenue, monthly recurring revenue, and just puts it into one number. Use your best guess, but make sure you're going and checking accurately on your P&L or in your payment processors. So let's just put $10,000 here for present date. Let's just keep it consistent. So this business just been making $10,000 and it's very consistent. So that's the revenue. Here's going to be the profit. So we're just going to keep it at $10,000 to make it very easy and simple. But again, you want to be as accurate as possible. So if you want to go look at your books to get a better valuation, you should do that. Pause the video now, go do that, look up your numbers, and then you can come back here. So average churn, again, this is a question specific for software companies. Basically, how much of your customers are actually canceling? Typically, it's going to be, it really varies. I've seen some businesses from 5 to 10%. So we'll just put 5. It really depends on how big your business is. Is this business mostly operated, built by yourself, or there's a development support team in place? So typically, if you have a support team, meaning that it's likely going to be an easier business to sell because most people want to buy the cash flow. They're not going to necessarily be a developer. So if you have a support team, likely going to be better. If you are not working on the business, so if you're working, 100 hours a week, it's going to be really hard to sell that business. People don't want to buy a job. Again, I'm not saying to lie on this stuff because if you lie, it's going to come up anyways. Not going to be, not going to be able to hide this stuff. So you want to be as accurate as possible. And if you don't know how much time you're working, just put in an estimate here. Typically, most savvy buyers want a business that's under 10 hours or has a team doing the majority of the work. So as we do this, we can complete here and we'll get a valuation. And so again, this is very close to the example that I used around the 600K range. And what I like about this tool is it gives a variation. So if you're looking to absolute low, you're going to see 400K, absolute high, 750. This is going to vary depending on a lot of factors, your industry, how easy is your business to sell. If your business can only be run from, let's just say the Czech Republic, it's only in Czech language, it can only be used by Czech citizens or something, that market space is going to be a lot lower. That addressable market, that TAM. And the person who can buy it is also going to be a lot lower. But let's say you have an American-based business, 70% of buyers on most, M&A deals are American. It's American-based, has American customers, and has huge upside to grow. It's probably going to be on the absolute high. If you're on the Czech Republic and your business is all in Czech, can only be run by Czech people, it'll probably be lower than this just because it's such a niche market. Not to say that your business isn't worth that, but it really is going to be much harder to sell your business if you don't have it easy to pass off and easy to run for somebody. So I'll switch back here for everyone who wants to actually get their free valuation. Like I mentioned and like I showed here, it takes about 30 seconds. It's completely free. You can use it as many times as you want. So what I like to do is sometimes I like to see where I'm at now, and I like to calculate my growth, like, oh, where am I going to be in 2 to 3 years? And so I'll get a valuation for that. So check the QR code here. I'll leave a link below. And if you're interested in buying or selling online businesses, I'm also going to leave a few links below. We can set up a free consultation call. No hard pressure sales or anything like that. And I can just try to give you value where I can help you increase that valuation in the next 6 to 12 months. So check out those links, reach out to me, and I'll hopefully be chatting with you soon.